welcome and thank you very much for checking out our video today. I'm Dan O'Connor with the Vancouver Giants, and joining me on this call, Emily O'Neill as well from the Vancouver Giants, and we are very pleased to be chatting with four members of the Vancouver Giants, a team that should hopefully be synonymous with success in the city of Vancouver and the Lower Mainland area. But very pleased to welcome four guests on behalf of the Giants to this conversation today. We have Alex Kanik-Liepert heading into his 20-year-old season. He is the captain of the Vancouver Giants, originally from Regina, Saskatchewan. We also have fellow defenseman Seth Bafero. He is from Revelstoke, British Columbia. He is heading into his 20-year-old season. We also have Tristan Nielsen with us. He led the Vancouver Giants in scoring back in 2019-20. He's from Fort St. John, BC, sometimes Calgary, Alberta, depending on the day. And we also have Trent Miner, goaltender, heading into his 19-year-old season with the Giants. He is a drafted prospect with the NHL's Colorado Avalanche. So, guys, thank you very much for taking some time. Hopefully we can learn a thing or two here and have a bit of fun with this. Talking about nutrition, talking about health, and talking about exercise. So, Tristan, I want to start with you. Tell us about your diet during a season and how it changes during the off season, and how much does it change during an off season?
For me, I think it changes quite a bit just based on the fact that I'm not on the road as much. So in season, when you're on the bus, it's kind of hard to have the healthy snacks and everything. So it's actually probably worse in season, as in like I'm probably having a few bags of chips on a road trip and stuff like that, where when I'm at home, if I'm craving something, I can go grab an apple and a banana or make a salad or whatever it might be. Just something healthier usually happens when I'm at home versus when I'm on the road.
Trent, what about you? In season, do you find that there's something that you consistently find that you're eating, and maybe in the off season, is there something that you really lean towards?
Yeah, same as Tristan on the road. It's a lot harder to eat fruits and vegetables when you're away, living in a hotel or on the bus. But no, I find in the summer for myself, I try to eat more protein just to build more muscle, as that's where you're going to gain most of your strength is in the off season, I find.
Seth, anything to add to that? I mean, as far as in season versus out of season, do you find when you kind of examine your diet and your go-to, do you find like even during the season, is there something that you find that you're just eating all the time?
Pasta and chicken all the time. But I just think the difference is in season, I'm kind of just eating whatever I can type thing, just because you're burning so much calories in the season. And then off season, I'm definitely looking out for what I'm eating a bit more, just because you're not so worn down all the time.
Alex, what about you? I mean, are you kind of along the lines of the previous three, or do you have anything that you find maybe different about in season versus out of season?
I could not name the last time I've had a banana, and during the season, I probably eat 7 bananas a week. So that's probably the biggest thing. Like on a game day, probably crush 2 bananas. And seriously, it's probably been 8 months since I've had a banana. So it's like the potassium and just keeping your, your legs from cramping and stuff like that. That's the biggest thing I would say for sure.
On to the next question, guys, and this just has to do with your workouts, and now is maybe an interesting time to ask this question, because we're sort of in this weird time where ordinarily you'd be smack dab in the middle of your season. All of you are still preparing for a season that's about to start in January. Seth, what percentage, if you had to kind of break it down, how much of your time and focus is shifted towards weight training versus cardio training?
It's kind of tough. It really depends like where you are in your off-season training as well. Kind of leading closer to the hockey season, you're going to ramp up your cardio for sure. Kind of when you're just starting out, it's going to be a lot more weightlifting and training. But I don't know, as a hockey player, I'd say it's probably like 45% weight lifting. So you want to get bulk and muscle, obviously. Then, yeah, I'd say 15 minutes or whatever it is of cardio.
Trent, for a goaltender, do you follow a similar path? I mean, no doubt both are very important for you as well, but if you had to kind of break down the percentages of your focus, does one kind of outweigh the other in that sense?
Yeah, it's actually a little bit different, I'd say, in the sense for a goalie, you're probably doing more cardio and more explosiveness versus strength as we're not going head to head running or we're rubbing up against players and hitting. We're having to move as quick as we can from side to side. So I'd say it's a lot more flexibility, cardio, and explosiveness than weightlifting, I'd say, for me during the off season.
And for Alex, I mean, you're a defenseman. You compete in a lot of those battles that Trent doesn't really get to do because of his position. So for you, I mean, is it a weight emphasis? Is it a cardio emphasis? Is it a bit of both?
I think at the beginning of the summer, it's a lot of weight and trying to get that muscle back that you lost during the year. But you kind of have to have that good balance between strength and your speed. Playing hockey, I mean, you're skating all game, but you got to be able to hand yourself in the corner. So I'd say probably 75-25% towards weight training, and then the cardio, because the skates also come in and they kind of wear you down as well. So you kind of have to make sure you're maintaining your muscles and stuff like that.
Tristan, anything to kind of add to kind of bring that point home when it comes to, you know, speed and strength and kind of that equal focus on both?
Well, for me, I feel the conditioning part and the explosiveness is quite a bit more important to me. Although I don't mind going into the corners and taking hits, I think because I'm smaller, I kind of have to avoid them. So I need to move faster for a longer period of time. So when it comes to a shift length, I need to be able to go, where I can't take the hits as hard as some of our bigger D-men like Seth and Leaps can.
Tristan, I'm going to keep it with you here for this one. What are some of your favorite exercises that you think are, you know, when you kind of see it on your gym board or your workout sheet for a given day, you know, even if it's a really difficult workout to do or a difficult exercise to do, do you have one in a given workout that you really look forward to?
Yeah, as Seth would say, it'd probably be bench press. There's nothing better than getting the summer body workout in on a Saturday morning, going to the gym and hitting curls and chest and doing some abs.
Seth, sounds like you're volunteering to be the next one. I mean, for you, I mean, is there a specific workout or movement that you look forward to in a given workout, depending on the day?
Well, yeah, like for upper body, obviously bench press and stuff like that. But I enjoy like deadlifts too. For legs, it's a good full body. It's obviously hard, and yeah, I don't know.
Trent, being the goaltender of the group, I mean, again, everything's a little bit different for you, but what about you when you hit the gym? What's the one that you're looking forward to the most?
In all honesty, it's probably the one I hate the most, but I know is most beneficial is doing the assault. Like I hate everything about it, but I know in the end of the day, it's building up good conditioning in my legs and my lungs as well. So no, I like finishing my workout with doing a long ride on the assault bike.
Alex, the last word goes to you. Favorite workout that leaves you feeling the most satisfied?
I thought I would have had one by now for all the guys going before me, but honestly, probably have to be deadlift and just being able to kind of use a trap bar and throw some weight around, stuff like that.
Question number 4, guys. Tell us about your post-workout routine when it comes to refueling and rehydrating. Seth, let's start with you. You're done your workout. What's the first thing you're doing to make sure that you're replenishing your body properly?
Well, when I'm working out here anyways, it's stretch after for 10-15 minutes just to kind of get your body ready for the next workout, and then lots of water. Then as soon as I get home, protein like smoothie, berries, bananas, that type of stuff. And then obviously just good rest, get your sleep, and yeah, that's all I got.
Tristan?
For me, for my recovery, I try to do hot yoga 3 times a week. I find it's very calming on the mind, and then it's also a good stretch. And I'm not one to stay at the gym and stretch out. I suck at keeping myself accountable for that. But if I know I have yoga, then I feel better about myself, and I don't feel as guilty.
Alex?
Same thing with as Seth was saying. It's important to get something in your system, some calories, some sugar, something within the first half an hour or so. So I mean, biggest thing is having like a container of your protein and just having your bottle filled with water right after and just throwing it in there and just getting it in you as fast as you can.
And for the goalie, Trent, you finished a hard workout or a tough practice. What are some ways and things that you can refuel and recharge as best as possible?
Yeah, I guess it just depends on the day too. But for me, definitely stretching after, as that's pretty much the bread and butter to being a goalie. If you can't move your legs, you're pretty well stuck in the net. So yeah, definitely stretching and like the guys are saying, get a protein shake in you, and there's definitely oils and stuff you can mix in now that help with improvement as well.
So Trent, I want to keep you here. Looking forward to hearing some of the answers to this one, because when you're not on the road and you've got a little more control about what you're eating, tell me about your go-to pregame meal and have a little fun with it. I mean, is it tell us the ideal pregame Trent Miner meal?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's whatever Sarah's making my billet, but she has a pretty good idea of what me and Tristan like before game. So she's usually making a vegetable mixed with some rice with a little bit of spice in it, and then a seasoned chicken breast. And then for myself, I like to have a spinach salad on the side. And then usually before the game or on the way to the rink, I'll stop and get an iced coffee or some kind of caffeine to keep me awake during the drive to the rink. So that way when I get to the rink, I'm ready to
go. Seth, ultimate pregame meal. What does it look like?
Some sort of salad with some nice dressing on it, maybe a little bit of balsamic vinegar on it. Then I just like rice with butter and chicken. And then a few cups of coffee when I get to the rink.
Tristan, pregame meal, what does it look like when you've got it completely your way?
I prefer rice and chicken. And then on my rice, I put Frank's Red Hot sauce, and on my chicken, I put ranch. And then usually on the way to the rink, I stop and get a bag of candy and sometimes a Red Bull, depending on how tired I am. And then I'll crush the bag of candy, usually before the first period. And then
that's really good for you too. It makes you
gets me buzzing.
It's unadvisable.
Hey, whatever works for you, right? You got to be able to treat yourself as well. Alex, tell us about your dream pregame meal.
I thought you were gonna say chicken strips and onion rings, but
do that.
For me, it's a good old chicken thigh with some seasoning on there, and then some brown rice and some soy sauce, and then I like having like a little bit of fruit, like some pineapple or something like that, and then usually like a Caesar salad or something like that. But usually game day starts with a nice white spot breakfast. It's eggs Benny, or if it's it's hearty, it's got to be a white spot breakfast every day for sure.
Alex, I want to stay with you here for this one. After a game, we talk a lot about a cool down. So, I mean, what does that look like? Rollers, bikes, team stretch? Like being the captain, I know the coaches are quite adamant that you guys cool down together and that you make this a team thing, win or lose. So what does that look like?
Usually it's trying to get your gear off as fast as you can, and everyone kind of hop into the training room and hopping on that bike and flushing your legs out for 5-10 minutes and making sure you kind of release those lactic acids. And then the biggest thing I think is knowing your body and knowing what you need to stretch and what you have to kind of work at and get the kinks out of. So we do our bike together, and then we kind of sit together and kind of do our own thing just to make sure that we're working on what we need to work on.
So Trent, when you're not the first star of a game and you don't have me trying to wrangle you for all your media and post-game interviews, what about for a goalie? After a game, after the heat of battle, what is your specific kind of like the 20 minutes after a game look like for you?
Yeah. After a game, it's important to get refilled, especially if you got a game the next day. We'll try and get some electrolytes back in us and a protein shake as well. And then, same as what Alex said, flush your legs out, do a little rolling and touch up whatever sore if you have any injuries, or as Seth would know during the season, blocking shots. I'm sure he's got lots of bruises on his legs. So I seen those up, and same with Alex too. But
what about Neeler? He just got snipers, man. That's all he's got. Got to ice the rest.
Well, Seth, let's stay with you. Anything specific to yourself? Might not even necessarily be something that everybody does, but something that you do for you to know that you're going to be, as recovered as possible after a game?
Not really anything what these guys haven't said. I think just the big part is a crap ton of water, Gatorade, whatever you can, any fluid. It's really important to do because you get dehydrated pretty quick.
How about you there, Neeler? Something specific to you, something that you will always make sure you do after a game?
For me, I'll try and talk to people, whether it's my line mates or someone, just to talk about what we could do better next game. And then other than that, I'm not a big stretcher, so I'll go home, and our team has the compression pants, and I put those on for 10 minutes usually before bed, and it just helps circulate blood and doesn't make me as sore, and then I try to get a really good sleep.
I mean, this is kind of a universal question, and maybe I'll just get Alex to kind of speak on this on behalf of the group, because I mean, the Vancouver Giants and really all teams for that matter in the WHL, you have this luxury of not only having your own training room, your own space to work out, own access to your gyms, but you're also supplied with all of the equipment and of course a training staff. How much easier is it for you and the guys when not only do you have a clear plan, but you've got the resources and the space available to just go and do it?
I mean, the biggest thing is they're setting us up for lots of success. I mean, we have the Theraguns, we have these pants, the compression pants. Like you said, we have 2 different gyms. We have our own rinks. And having good trainers and athletic therapists is stuff like that. It's pretty huge because it's hard to find those things, and we have some world-class guys on our staff. So I know we're all very grateful for having guys like Bernie and Shingo and Jordan and everyone like that around, and kind of with the ton of experience they have, it's pretty easy to pick up those and kind of see what works for us and kind of go along with it. But no, we're all pretty lucky to have them.
So traveling on the road with you guys, this I think would interest our viewer. It's one thing, Tristan, when you're at home and you've got your own gym, your own equipment, your own everything. But when you're on the road, like let's say you arrive in Spokane at 4:30 in the afternoon, you don't play until the following day, but you need to do something to kind of move around and loosen up the bus legs a little bit. how much stuff workout wise does the team travel with? And what are some of the inventive ways that, let's say you arrive at the rink at 5 o'clock the day before a game, what can you do at a rink in Spokane to get yourself ready?
Well, for us, our Dicker likes to do a workout as soon as we get there, and it's a lot tougher than it sounds. You would think it would just be a couple squats and a stretch, but sometimes we have to run around the whole building, and it's a race, so it's definitely not easy. But honestly, I am a sucker for rest. I find my legs are going when they're well rested, so for me, I don't do a whole bunch.
Trent, I mean, I've witnessed some epic Sewer Ball games, even some lobby soccer that's taken place on the concourse of some various arenas. But is it simply an adage of making full use of the space you have at your disposal, even if it seems a bit unorthodox?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not one of the good sewer ball players, so I don't spend too much time in that circle. But no, definitely taking advantage of what we got, and like Tristan said, they have us do a workout, and for some guys like Tristan, they like the rest, and then some guys like myself, I need to get my legs going after a bus ride, or else I'll just come to the game, I'll still be half asleep in my legs. So no, it's definitely a big advantage to get there a day early and get our legs pumping.
Seth, what sometimes or what often happens as well on the road for the guys is you might have your meal, and then the coach might even say, "Okay, guys, we're going to meet for a stretch at around 8 o'clock, and then we're going to do some video work." But tell me about one of those like 8 p.m. hotel stretches. Sometimes it's going to be in the hotel gym. Quite often it might be in the very same room that you've just had your meal. It's different, but it gets the job done.
For sure, yeah. And the team does a pretty good job of pretty much bringing as much as they can. Like, so it keeps us, we have everything that we need there pretty much. So it's definitely you're not in the gym all the time, but you make it work. And I think they do a really good job with that too. So, like,
are we talking rollers? Are we talking stretch bands? I mean, give us a real sense of like what one of those might look like.
I usually got a bag filled with like rollers and crossball and softballs. Bands, Theraguns, those boots, the other legs. I don't know what those are called, but yeah, there's a lot of different things, and usually all the guys are doing a bunch of different stuff. Neither's usually using those pants. Some guys are using rollers. Other guy, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of different stuff.
Trent, how valuable is it to you guys to have somebody like Jordan McKenzie, who is supervising your workouts, but he's also there to keep you accountable for your nutrition, and somebody whose primary role and responsibility is to make sure that you are at your peak fitness and peak nutrition?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's huge having someone like Jordan who's able to not only give us a good general workout, whether it be during the week or after a game, but also to specialize it for guys who are finding their weak in places during the game or sore in places. He's able to accommodate to that. And I think as far as the team goes, with his background and experience with the Canucks, we're about as lucky as it gets to have someone like Jordan.
I mean, Seth, from that, I mean, sometimes, again, it's taking the guesswork out of it is pretty nice, but having somebody who's, I know in talking to you a fair bit over the past couple of years, I mean, your fitness is something that you take a whole lot of pride in. And I can only imagine that Jordan's influence has really helped with that.
Yeah, it's he's really good. Well, I mean, I moved down to Vancouver this summer to work out with him. So that's saying something. He's really good. And I think I'm going to cover what Trent said again. He's really good at just kind of singling out you. And if you have a tweak and whatever it might be, he's really good at giving you alternatives and making sure you're still gaining that strength during the season and in the off season as well.
So Tristan, are you hiding the candy fact from Jordan? What does that look like? Is he well aware of the dietary guilty pleasures?
Jordan has half my bag every game.
So I guess that answers that. But I mean, from that, Tristan, I mean, having the support and it's not just Jordan. I mean, it's Bernie and his experience, and even just having an organization, I think, that is that prioritizes this. It probably isn't like this everywhere you go.
No, it's definitely not. Even especially at home games and stuff, it's quite kind of like an honor, I guess, to be with the Giants in the sense that they treat us so well. They bring in chiropractors, massage therapists. So after games, if you do have a minor injury or something that is tightening up on you, we have that ability to fix it and treat it. And with the team doctors and all the equipment we have, definitely puts us in a position to succeed.
And Alex, we're getting towards the end here, guys. But Alex, just quickly, anything you want to add, just on behalf of yourself, to the personalities, the knowledge, and just the accessibility that you and your teammates have to nutrition and training, and not just like a blanket of that, but specified, individualized training and nutrition for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is everyone's kind of on the same page. So Jordan and the coaches and Bernie and the coaches have a great relationship, so they can kind of communicate. They know when a guy needs a day off. They know when a guy's ready, and they trust each other and things like that. But you go into our little snack room, and we have oils, we have creatine, we have proteins, all sorts of stuff like that ready for us. And then on a game day, you'll see anything from oranges, bananas, bagels, stuff like that. Whatever you need, they have it for you there. We were really just set up to succeed.
Trent, how involved are the billets with your nutrition? Are they given any guidance? Is that sort of a case by case basis? I'm not suggesting that there's necessarily the Vancouver Giants cookbook recipe guide, but I mean, have you heard instances, or maybe it's even happened for you, where your billets are provided with specific meals and goals to ultimately help make you guys better and as nourished as possible?
Yeah, I've definitely heard of cases where some guys were lacking vegetables or protein, needing to put on weight. So they've obviously adapted to that. But no, I think mine and Tristan's builds, they've always been great for us, that if whatever we were feeling, or if we wanted something more healthy or a treat one night, they were always accommodating to that. And no, they always took good care of us and given us the proper nutrition we needed to perform the next day.
Alex, anything similar on your end?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the year, when I first met my billets, they kind of said, "What do you like? What do you not like?" Things like that. But they also kind of forced us to kind of try new things and open up our mind on different foods. And no, I mean, they've been great to me. They've always got a little bit of fruit, always got a lot of vegetables, a lot of good meat. House is always stocked, so I've been pretty lucky.
Seth, what is the best? What is the billet house specialty? The best thing that you eat at your billet's house?
That I make or that she makes?
Both.
Well, I gotta say, if I'm hungry late at night, I'll probably make a spinach and cheese pizza. Those are pretty good. Those are always stocked up in the freezer. And her, I don't know, she has a lot of good different meals. I don't know, usually kind of like in the Asian cuisine. I don't know, like rice and that type of stuff.
Last one, guys. And I mean, I know you talked about how the road can be a challenging place to eat the healthiest, and being a bit involved with some of the meal bookings from that standpoint. I know the struggle, but I also know that sometimes the coaching staff will come in and they'll say, "Hey, what do you guys feel like eating? Or is there something that we want to change? Tristan, I mean, even having a bit of a say, even having a bit of a flexibility, and even just having a team that's kind of committed to making sure that, 99 meals out of 100, hopefully you guys have enough to eat. Does that help in the bigger picture when it comes to winning games and putting yourself in the best mental state possible?
Oh, 100%. Like, there's literally nothing worse than going to pregame meal and seeing something that you don't like eating. And with the coaching staff being able to accommodate us and ask our opinions, and I think for the most part, a lot of us have a similar opinion. I think it's just huge because no one ever wants to play on an empty stomach.
Alex, anything to contribute to that discussion as well?
For sure. I mean, along the same lines, like, it's nice. Like we've had a lot of change ups, kind of keeping it fresh, things like that. Because you kind of get sick of doing the same meal over and over and over and over. So it's nice that we can kind of have two different choices. If you like red sauce better and you feel like you're lighter on that, then perfect. If you like white sauce better, then it's good too. So I mean, it's nice to have a little bit of a choice and make sure that that's not bothering you and like in your head while you're playing, because it's you're thinking about enough already, so you don't really need to be worried about what you're going to eat or if you're not feeling great.
Trent, can it be that big a deal? Making sure like you have the right meal before a game, and that just puts you over the edge and gives you the best possible chance to succeed?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I find with myself too, I find it kind of starts the night before with what I'm eating too, that when I wake up in the morning, I'm not feeling groggy and sluggish, that I'm ready to go and start off my morning with breakfast. And by the time it gets to my pregame meal, having the right things to put in your body, it will just keep the motor running at premium.
And Seth, last word goes to you. Same kind of thing. I mean, just even having a bit of wiggle room there with some of your meals on the road, and the difference it can ultimately make in the long run.
Yeah, it's really, really nice having those. We usually stay in pretty nice places that give us, the options. You have a couple different types of meat that you want, rice, pasta, that type of stuff. So, I mean, yeah, you need food in your system to go. So that's pretty helpful.
Well, that's it for the questions, guys. But I think hopefully the gist of this conversation has revealed kind of what the fitness and nutrition component looks like with a junior hockey team on a fairly small scale. It can get very intense. It can get very complicated at times, but it sounds like you guys all have a real good grasp of what works for you, and you've got a team and an organization that's pretty darn devoted as far as making that all happen for you. So let's leave it there. Thanks for taking the time, guys. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Best of luck and continued health, safety, and positivity, nutrition, health, and wellness to all of you. And I look forward to seeing you guys here soon as we get ready for January the 8th.
Thanks, Dano.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dano.
That's it.
Thank you, guys.